Benjamin Franklin once said, "Tell me and I'll forget. Teach me and I may remember. Involve me and I will learn." My father was the last of what I consider a great generation. This was a generation of people who depended upon the land for their survival. As a family, they would grow their crops, raise their livestock for the purpose of having food throughout the year. Growing up as a young boy, Dad would get up in the morning and he would harness the mules and he'd spend the day plowing and preparing the soil behind those mules all day long. During Dad's childhood, schools didn't even start until the spring planting and the spring calving was done. And then again in the fall, when they let out for fall break, that was scheduled around harvest time, so that the kids could go home and they could help their fathers and their mothers on the farm to harvest the crops, to harvest the livestock and butcher and preserve the meat for the winter time. And it was also a time when they could take their goods into town and they could sell or barter with the folks there for other things that they might need on the farm. We have more of a disconnect today than we ever had in the history of our world with where our food comes from and how it's produced. Very few of us today do what Dad had to do when he was growing up. And things are so much more convenient now. We can just go to the grocery store and we can buy a box of cereal or get a package of meat there and don't feel any real need or any real reason to know where that came from. I believe that now more than ever that importance is great. We have a growing population in our world that's scheduled to reach 9.5 billion in the next 30 years. That's a 2.5 billion increase from where we are now. We're going to have to feed those people, and we're going to have to know how to do that. And we're going to have kids that are growing up with the innovation to be able to find new ways and new methods of doing that in smaller areas and with less effort and less fuel. And that's where I think now we need to find a way that we can integrate what my dad had, which was the involvement of the school and the farm, and having everybody understand the importance of both. So in the early 1900s, Maria Montessori understood this concept, and she was able to take that thought and that theory and apply it to education, to get kids in an environment where they could do hands-on learning with all of their core academics. And that's a concept that still goes on today, but I'd like to expand upon that and still have that model in action where kids learn those things, but to be able to take them and have them integrated in farm life all throughout their school days, so that all of their academics revolve around the things that we do on the farm naturally. And then after that, we take it a step farther where those kids graduate up into positions early teen years where they're able to then help to educate and teach the younger kids that same process. With our concept, not only would we have an active school on the property, but we'd be able to invite homeschool communities and public school classes to be able to come and participate as well, and to see and understand how core academics are involved in everything we would do on the farm on a normal basis. So they can apply their mathematics and their science and their reading and art in everything that we do. And not only that we'd have the opportunity to be mobile with our farm. If they can't come there, then we can also go to them, and we can supply them with educational kits in their classrooms and go into their classrooms, take the farm to them, and be able to educate them around food production, agriculture, and again, be able to relate that to all the things that they're learning every day in school. So as we look to the future and the issues that we have before us, like increased population, rising hunger rates, the vast amount of food that we waste, it's imperative that we educate our kids about the process and to help them to understand and become aware of the things that we're doing, where food comes from, how it gets to us, how we use it, and how we waste it. So if we expect to find solutions to these issues, it's imperative that we cultivate healthy children today so they can harvest a healthy society tomorrow.